few months ago after a tumultuous, raucous, controversial, some would say possibly the most dividing election in recent history of the United States of America. And he is of the Republican, and he has been re-elected for quite some time. Today, he will get the baton of office and officially sworn in, and he will be in the saddle of affairs of God's home country, the United States of America. Again, he was president before he was voted out, and Joe Biden was voted in. Now Biden has a few hours to go. Possibly the transition will be almost complete, just in a matter of minutes or hours. So what does that mean to the rest of the world? We'll be speaking this morning to Olushola Andrew, and he is Olushola Adewumi, rather. Olushola Adewumi is the Chief Executive Officer of Profile Africa and also a member of the United Nations Ambassador, the United States of America. He joins us, virtually this morning. Thank you for joining us, Olushola Adewumi.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you for having me.
All right. But let me be sure. The last time you spoke with us was from Illinois. Where are you speaking to us from now?
Yeah, I'm still in Illinois. I'm speaking from Illinois.
Okay.
Right now.
All right. Perfect. Now, Donald Trump will be inaugurated in just a couple of hours from now. But before we get to that point, during the campaigns, just before the elections, rather, we spoke with you and other persons to say, what are you expecting from that election? Most of you, including yourself, gave your verdict on where you thought the election will swing. At the end of the day, it has produced Donald Trump. We were just speaking earlier before we brought you up about the campaigns, very controversial fears. But then after the campaigns, everything has died down. No swing, no tribunal, no appeal court, no federal high court, no Supreme Court judgment awaited anywhere. It seems everybody has moved on. Let's quickly look at the campaigns and then the election and the acceptance on both sides, and possibly there's anything we could learn as a people and as a nation. Olushola.
Thank you, Femi. Just like I said the other time, that was one of the most tough, challenging elections, I think, in the modern or recent time in the United States of America. And it has to do with the basis of what people, the core values of the real American people. Don't forget, America, as it said, God's own country. A lot of people travel all over the world. A lot of people still want to come to the United States of America. But that still does not change the fact that there are people who owns the land in court by constitution, by executive rights order. So the election of Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, based on what I said the other time, it was very challenging. And I thought Kamala Harris had the biggest opportunity to have won that election. But when it comes down to the real core principle of what makes America what it is, people have to narrow down their opinion to that basis and choose between what they want and what they don't want. So the biggest mistake to me, or probably a lesson I learned from that, I think from the Democrat Party also, knowing how to articulate the plans, the policy, the manifesto to the American people, because American election is very, very tough and rigorous. People want to know what you have to bring to the table. And at that point, Kamala Harris got it wrong. And it was very late. People changed their mind very late. 3 months to the election, Kamala Harris has all the trajectory to be the winner of that election, but suddenly there was a turnaround just because of what both party or both candidates stand for in the election process.
Well, I added another angle is the electoral body, their responsibility, the process that produced Donald J. Trump, of course, the whole thing, how it went and how fierce and, very intense that it was. But then let's look at how the electoral body behaved, the security agencies, if actually they were even involved at all, and how everybody moved on. And the acceptance from, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris camp and all of these And if there's anything we can learn as a nation, because you know what has bedeviled us from 1999 till now, especially when we're having our general elections.
Yeah. I think we all need to stand for who we are. It all boils down to the core values of what every nation stands for. If we look at our country, we basically don't have identified status. There's nothing that unites us. So when it comes to a critical point or a turning point in history, people come down to that. We want to go back to the drawing board. We want to know how to reinstate and protect our identity. In the case of the American people, that was exactly what happened. And these people still constitute the major part of the electorate, but they don't forget. A lot of people in the United States of America, they don't participate in the election, and it's to them a wake-up call to save their country. I'm not trying to be partisan or be on the side. I know where I belong during the election, and I foresaw that coming because everybody want to rise and protect norms. Trump may be the most mercurial American president in decades, I know that, but that offers a certain element of predictability. There's going to be a shift in the global norm, in American system, in a whole lot of things. He's probably going to be signing into executive action more than 200 orders today. And he's going to touch down on DEI, the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Program. He's also likely going to declare war on the cartels, declare them as a terrorist nation, terrorist groups, rather. A lot of things is going to happen. But this is exactly what people wanted to see happen. Because so to America, God's own country, a lot of things happening in the United States of America that people cannot even fathom or believe that could be going on. A lot of politics, a lot of games, a lot of conspiracies, and everybody want to see the country come back to where it should be. That's one of the main reasons why I think people troop into the United States of America. They don't want it to be that touch and status, yeah.
Yeah, you know, just as an addition, I was trying to say, okay, now the election is over, right? And the governance is there. The expectations have started. In fact, before the election and after the election, the mood has switched from the election to governance. And, you know, expectations are high. I will ask you that shortly. But then here in Nigeria, and this is not to disparage this country, we are just speaking to reality. Few months after the elections, till the inauguration day, you will still have this feeling, especially people like us that live here, that the leaders, either the ruling party or the party that will come to power that has won the election, or the opposition party, they are always still in the election mode. It's about allegations and counter allegations and, you know, cases at court and all of those things. But it seems in these US cases, in this election, the election mode has been forgotten since, and it's time for governance. What made this so? Because we can tell, at least at the last 2023 election, on to the inauguration day, there were still cases in court. Even after the inauguration, and until now, some persons are still in the election mood. What is the difference?
Thank you very much for that question. It comes down to every one of us in the United States of America. The difference was a shift in that perspective about what is right and what is wrong. One thing I noticed about the Democratic election candidates was the fact that people don't want to go to the edge. And America as it is has been seen as a country with the excessiveness of activities, the gay rights movement, and a whole lot of things that I cannot just continue to mention. And it's beginning to stare in people's face. One of the things that Donald Trump intends to do today is to reverse the biological sex order and declare two gender-based gender, a male and a female gender. People think about this. People need to question themselves, especially when the frontline candidate has to push that ideas and values to people, and nobody want to go there. Nobody want to, just like people think America is a crazy place like that. America is a place filled with families and people with values. People still I mean, it's a place of freedom. It's a place where everybody have rights to do what you want to do or she want to do, but they are still not a general norm. A lot of people still contradict that value system, and they don't want it to be. They don't want their kids to buy into that. They don't want their kids to grow into that. They don't want to see the transgender athletes sharing the same lavatory with, female athletes. A whole lot of things. That point was a major shift. So they don't want to stay woke. And looking at the impacts and the effects of wokeism on the American system is becoming really, really crazy. So everybody gets to the point to understand what is this candidate pushing, what is the other candidate pushing. And to me, Trump is a very strategic person, and he's been in the game. He's a very big negotiator. He was able to capitalize on that emotion of people. He was able to touch that on the basis of what American people want, not just an idea or a conspiracy that a candidate is pushing to the American people.
Okay. During the election that produced Joe Biden as the president, Trump also competed or contested for this election. What exactly was different between that time and this present election? Why did the American people not vote him in? Why did they actually vote him out? And now they have accepted him again. What exactly are we looking forward to? Or what is he doing right? Or what did he do wrong before?
That's actually a big question. I'm going to share my opinion based on my personal preference, though. I'm a believer of the fact that when it comes to a leader, especially a leader of a great nation like the United States of America, people generally buying into those of a candidate they love. Okay, so when you have the history that people are familiar with, the love, the liberal, people generally buy into the liberal party system because they feel they're more accommodating, they are more tolerant, they give rooms, and just like the DI program that Trump has announced to cancel, it's one of the programs by the Democrat Party, but if you look at it very, very well, sometimes the leader that make the changes, often they are not likable. People don't always buy into them. And so the first time election of Joe Biden and Donald Trump, don't forget that Joe Biden too is a strong politician. He's been in the game for a very long time. Trump just came in. He's a businessman. And at that point, Biden has all it takes to win that election. And Donald Trump is not someone that everybody will welcome because of his tough policies and how he handles things. So everybody feel we better have Joe because there's too many complaints about Donald Trump. Lifestyles, backgrounds, someone who is known to be very, very unpredictable. But one thing you cannot take away from the fact that Donald Trump is the fact that he loved the American people and he loved the United States of America. So at that point, Biden has all it takes to win that election. And he was more composed, mentally fit, and able to run the country at that time and point. And even the recent election, Biden should have been able to go through successfully. But nobody can doubt his mental declination. At that point, it was a big risk and question to the American people: is this person fit to run the election? That was a game changer too. I would say those are two major big changer. The fact that Kamala Harris was pushing wokeism idea, and she was unable to articulate her plans, what she really wants for the American people when it comes to various policies. And secondly, she was considered a puppet. And everybody believed when she becomes the president, she may not be the one in charge actually, because Joe Biden has not really been the one in charge, in quotes. So it's a lot of politics on that side that I'm not trying to go into. But those are two factors that changed the game compared to the previous election between Trump and Joe Biden.
How would you actually, how would you judge Donald Trump's previous administration when he was in office?
Trump's administration, the first administration of Donald Trump, if you want me to judge it, I'm going to judge it based on my opinion. And to be honest and to be fair, this is a television interview. It was a very, very good time for me Despite the COVID, I came into the United States of America during Donald Trump's time. The economy was much vibrant and strong. Everything was going smooth. When I mean everything going smooth, I can reflect on the job opportunities, the immigration system, and the border policy. There was no atmosphere. This feeling of fear, influx of people to the United States. Everything was stable. The economy was much stronger. The only area where I wouldn't judge him right or give him a pass mark was in his international policy, because the principle of multilateralism has to change. Trump is a very strong and conservative person, so he had a lot of clash with world leaders, and he's trying to pull out of a lot of agreements that his predecessor went into. That was not a good place for him. He didn't get much mark in that area. But when it comes to the policy within the United States of America, I think everything was fine. The economic trajectory was really, really high, and there were more jobs, compared to what we see today happening around.
Right. And, some persons are just like you said, Donald Trump's personality, it's quite an edgy one that, you don't know what to expect next. But then that's turned into a kind of being predictable as well. Even when you are not certain of where we tilt, it's predictable that what you are to expect might be a bit edgy. But then one will say he has grown. Of course, he's an old person, but then possibly he has learned more. But before we go to the expectations right now, you are in Illinois. What is the mood like in the U.S.? Are people excited? Will it just be another day in office? Or are people really expectant, for him to really come, be inaugurated, and they expect his speech? What's the mood like generally?
The mood is very, very, everybody is actually expecting what is going to happen. It's a mixed feeling. Yeah, it's a mixed feeling. Such a great trepidation. We don't know what's going to happen, but definitely we know a lot of things will change. Yeah, because Trump plans to do a lot. Just like I said, he plans to sign into laws, over 200 executive actions, and nobody knows what that's going to be all about. Definitely is going to sign into law. Border security law is going to also declare a mass deportation program, and is probably also going to come after people that are undocumented. That's really different from mass deportation program. And I know what I'm saying, because I probably may not go after that. So a lot of people that have been documented, probably maybe through work permits, a lot of people that are outside of the United States coming back may find it difficult due to change in policy, because it's going to touch down on everything. So everybody, depends on who you are. Your status depends on what you have been able to do and how safe and secure you are. But I can tell you that I know a lot of people that are planning what's going to happen next. If this gets to affect me, people are already putting down in place their plan B, what to do, where to go. But it's not all totally cool atmosphere. Everybody is not totally happy, but everybody understands that there's going to be a big change to the United States of America. So right now here in Illinois, maybe because of the cold, it's really cold right now. So we don't seem to have much people around. There's not much outdoor activities out there, but everybody is waiting to see what's going to happen.
Right.
Because
the border control thing is a huge factor. In fact, the decision during the election of many persons, and he has always run with these America for Americans. He has always been big on that, and possibly that affected his international relations in the first time when he came. But right now, that's why I said maybe he has grown, he has learned more on the job, or he still be this blunt, I don't care, I have to do what I have to do kind of a person. And so for undocumented immigrants, and for the ones that have quite shaky papers, some persons are even documented, but doesn't that make many persons to be edgy? That apart from illegal immigrants, there are people who don't know what to expect. So it's, instead of being excited, people like that will be nervous. So how does that make people feel? People like yourself, people of color, of course, we are Africans, you are Nigerian, and all of those things. But it's not really, just like you say, it's not really a good feeling, totally, among many persons. But even at that, you don't know what to expect.
Right. Right. We actually don't know what to expect. But one thing I understand about the system here in the United States, we call it God's own country, but a lot of things happen here in the United States of America too. People play games just like everywhere in the world. The politics is the same human being, and though the system is perfect to some extent to conceal and guide a lot of irregularities, but as it is, the media play a major role in shaping our understanding and belief about immigration policies in the United States of America. From what I know, the Obama administration deported more people than the previous Donald Trump administration. It's a fact. I actually fact-checked that, and not just from a source. So Trump is someone who likes things to be done legally, the way it ought to be. He likes procedures. He likes to follow the right protocols in everything you do. Trump is not really against people coming to the United States of America. He just wants to come down here the right way. And if you look at the way most of the politicians here in the United States make use of the policies, it's been biased to some extent. And so if we have a feeling Trump is going to do this, is going to do that, he's not actually doing that because he wanted to marginalize people, attack people. He's probably trying to stop a system or a program that is feeding on some people, and is trying to neutralize things and make America how it used to be. I don't have any idea if he has a new America in mind, but what Donald Trump is trying to do is to return this country to what it used to be. So we can have a picture of what America used to look like in the 90s, in the 2000s. The system is what he's trying to bring back to the table. And I look at myself, if I'm an American, I'm probably going to think like them. I'm probably going to protect that ideology. I'm probably going to push for that because too much influx of people has a lot of weight on the system as well. And just like I said, a lot of things happen in the US that you probably don't believe that this is happening in the United States of America. So they're fighting that system. They're fighting the way the immigrants are trooping into everything, changing the game and changing the rules and everything. So definitely a lot of people will be affected by that. But I don't see or foresee a situation where every undocumented people will have to be deported. That is actually not what is on his mind. That's a program in the political system and in this constitution. People have to be here, even though they are not documented, to push for their status over time. So it boils down to your background checks, your records, what you've done, and what you are doing, because they're going to go through all of that to determine your status if you are not documented.
Right.
Okay, so would you say that majorly Americans that voted Trump in did that because of this policy of America for Americans?
Yeah, I'm going to say that's actually what it is. No doubt about it. Yeah, they want to see America back. They want to see their country. They want to. They don't want the Americans, as it is to me. They are not these people that want to go in that part of wokeism. They are these people because they know the effects and the impact it has on their system as a country. So they are doing all they can to bring that status back to the United States of America. And the only person that can do that is Donald Trump, because he's unpredictable and he's fearless to some extent. He has a way of going for what he wants to do, and they believe he's going to restore that dignity back for them. That's what I believe.
Okay.
And he's going to do that. Yeah.
Okay, so what you're trying to say is that Joe Biden actually didn't give Americans what they expected.
Not all what they expect. Yeah, Joe Biden's policy centered more on It's more outward. It's more outward. There's a lot of programs that are opening up here in different states, most especially the sanctuary cities, that are not supposed to be. You know, it's a matter of priority. The Americans want to be prioritized, and we've seen in the past 4 years a lot of events when the American people were not placed at the top of the agenda, and when Joe Biden was all out there, giving out money to the Ukraine to fight the war and doing other things. So it's been a major issue. Like the last, was it the earthquake or whatever happened in Atlanta? I can't even remember right now. Even the fire, the Palestine fire going on in LA, all of this, everybody's saying that where are the American people when it comes to the way the policy used to work before? They have to speak out, they have to fight before they can get those things come to them. Unlike a president like the Donald Trump, I think it's more about Biden, probably not Democratic, because Obama did well during his time, and he would definitely prioritize the American people. That's one of the areas where Biden is actually losing it big time, because the American people have been ostracized, and they're actually saying that, and that is one of the things they want back.
So you think the Joe Biden's administration is what affected Kamala Harris's election?
Definitely. Kamala Harris did not come with her whole manifesto. She didn't come with her program, with her plans. People are tired of Biden's policy. Biden's policy seems to be weak a lot. You know, I work in 2021. I work at a camp when the Afghanistans were brought to the American. Over 3,000 Afghanistans were camped at a place called Joburg in New Jersey. I was one of the officials there, and it was funny how these people were suddenly released into the community, granted papers, and the pain to those who are not even documented, who are working, who are not fully documented, is the fact that people like that can come to the United States of America based on Biden's policy and suddenly get their way, become documented. They've been working for long. Their papers are not approved. They're paying taxes, and they are not even part of the conversation. So everybody sees all of that, and it's one of the weak points in Joe Biden's administration, and it's a lot, not just in that area.
Right. If you say one of the weak points, can you give us, or can you outline some other weak points of Joe Biden?
I'll be glad to do. I think I can pick one or two things that I consider as a weak point in Joe Biden's administration. One of the weak points in Joe Biden's administration, Joe Biden's administration actually empowered the LGBT community a lot, give them wings to fly. I've been here for many years. I've never walked into an office and say pride flag. And all that began to happen in the past 2 years. And I was driving in the city one time, and the whole city was lit up with the pride flag. And for the first time in the American history, American flag was erected alongside with the pride flag. And people don't want that. People, just like people outside of the United States think America looks like, people here are not that, I'm trying to perverse. They're not that perverse. A lot of people don't stand for that values, and they will do everything to protect a policy that return that normalcy. And not only that, there are a lot of programs that open up backgrounds, arrangements for the undocumented Latinos and Spanish people that are working from the borders, which is not supposed to be. So it's a lot. It's a lot, like creating programs that offers credit cards to the undocumented Latinos, people who came from the borders, and people have the idea that these people are majorly criminals. Yeah, to some extent, not all of them. If I live close to the United States and there's a chance for me to work in, I'll give it a try or two, but not all of them. But you can believe a lot of them coming to the States, and the social order is changing. The safety.
Right. If I may quickly butt in, Olushola, as a round-off, it's the hoisting of the pride flag and the emboldening of these guys, the LGBTQ communities, and they have become more prominent, more vocal under possibly the Democrats and Joe Biden administration, and all of these things. There are some persons that say, isn't that what America stands for? Liberty, inclusivity, freedom, equal opportunities, either at the economic level or at the sexual preference, and all of these things. Is liberty. It's called the land of all. Now, how are you seeing that as a bad thing? You even use the word normalcy, that you think Mr. President-elect now, that Donald Trump will return normalcy, and it's looking like it has been an abnormality. Is it necessarily a bad thing? Isn't it about preference? Isn't that what America stands for? Everybody having their choice?
No, I don't believe that's not what Americans stand for, because freedom is not the absence of discipline. Freedom is not absence of restriction, and America Constitution was based and founded on the top principle of the Bible, and it's not a creed, it's not a value system that promotes diversion from the mainstream gender, which are to be male and female. And, there is, beyond the idea that's what Americans stand for, there is a project, there is a push in this aspect, which is probably global. There are more countries in Europe that are silent, and they are more welcoming when it comes to the LGBT movement.
All right.
They don't talk about it. They don't make headlines every day, because America is that place where a lot of people feels the vibe is happening, the power and all of that. So everything coming up, going on here is actually going all around the world.
All right.
So it's not about the freedom of what they stand for. It's about certain people getting to that place of power and pushing that ideas.
All right.
But you'll be shocked.
Yeah.
People in America don't stand for that.
All right, and my parting shot to you, I think there is no need asking you if you're a big fan of Donald Trump. Obviously, you are. So, what kind of president do you think? What kind of a president do you think it will be at this time? In 30 seconds, you think it will pick up from where he left it, or will be another entire different person, or you think it will do much more greater?
Oh, that's a big question. That's really a big question. And it's also narrowed down to the personality of Donald Trump, who he is. We cannot predict him. It's someone who comes with a lot of big surprises, and I'm really, really open to see that happen. But one thing I know is this, which I'm glad is probably going to happen. Donald Trump is going to negotiate with what powers, what leaders to reduce conflicts and the wars going on around in Ukraine, Israel, Gaza, Hamas, and all of that. And I know he's someone who has much interest in African politics and system. Right. But one thing about him is he's going to go all out there to negotiate with people. So we might see a better principle of multilateralism going on from now. And that's what I hope is going to happen. He will go there and negotiate with people.
All right.
We'll talk.
Yeah, we have been speaking with the CEO, Profile African member, United Nations ambassadors, United States of America, all the way from Illinois. Thank you, Lushola Dewumi, for your time and your take. And we wish you, other Americans and everybody in God's own country, all the best as Donald Trump takes charge.
Thank you so much. Thank you. The word UNA is United Nations Association of Americans.
Oh, okay. United Nations Association of Americans. Noted.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
So, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right. You're welcome. That will be it, at least for now. We'll pick it up tomorrow.
Yeah.
God willing, because by that time we have the speech, we have some policies, some directions,
right,
and maybe some persons will be ready to stay put in the US or pack their bags and leave to wherever they came from, or, have a way of stabilizing themselves.
Yeah, right.
That would be it. And we take this quick break right now. When we return, we will be speaking about Nigeria and what has happened. The war against corruption. Is corruption fighting back? Is this war being properly fought? How about the operative, the agencies that are saddled with the responsibilities? It will be a very interesting one. Stay with us.